Guys, I hope you can hear me okay. It wasn't letting me play my music or any kind of music. It's okay. Apparently, YouTube hates it. Well, it's all good. Um, I'm gonna play the beginning of Post Folk World video she did yesterday because I have to give her so much credit. And a link to the description of that video. Like you can find the whole video in case I come back, but I'm gonna take my dog out really quick. And I was trying to play music, and then I was like, "Where'd the music go? I don't even have any options." So, hey Angela, hey Dan, hey everybody, hi Thomas, hi Steven, everybody who's here that I can see. Hi if I didn't see, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna play and share my screen of Host World video last because this is what I've been talking about. And I was just in disbelief. And then I spent so much time last night looking into everything. Um, and I just am still in a little bit. I have answers I've been seeking. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, my theory is going to stick with the theory that I've continued to have about Reed and Ben and I can't make sense of it all, so we're doing this as a part one. But I'm going to put her video on while I take littles out real quick, and then we'll talk and we'll discuss the meaning, the greater meaning of a lot of this. But I found my connection to Brian Coburn, and I know Becca Barlow is on this case for a reason and one reason alone, and we cannot allow this to happen just because people have money and time. And I'm not saying everything yet, but I'm going to share a lot with you guys today. And it's very crazy. And I don't know if Brian had a clue or didn't have a clue, but it also speaks in my mind to potentially why Brian would have taken a plea deal and not had his family if he thought they might have to testify. Because part of it's a little bit not what you want to talk about your deceased family being in, you know, you know, being a little player. But okay, I'm doing this. I'll be right back. Hey, TK, love you, girl. All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to start this video. We might not finish it all. I hope she doesn't mind. I was mind blown, but I need you guys to kind of understand, and then I'm going to explain a lot of what's said in her video. So I'm looking to share my screen right now, and I'll be right back. So just hang tight with me, guys. And oh my God, thanks to Post Woke World. She's always amazing. I love her live. And you guys just hang tight. I'll be right back.
Know that know that.
Let's talk about 1122 King Road Clue. So this is, you can see this is the picture here of him, and that is Brannon, the 17th president, I think, of University of Idaho. He changed that, though. That wasn't his original one. But he reaches out to me in July. He said, I must have said something. He said something back that he thought was offensive, and I was just like, yeah, I'm not offended easily. Don't worry about it. And so we just kind of talked that way. So then he sends me this picture right here, and I'm not entirely sure who they all are, but the one on the right, I'm almost certain is Joe Woodall, the guy that was in Grub Truck video, okay? And then he says, Brian Koberger was a target. He's the only victim left. Let's look at the clue pieces. Candlestick is Illuminati. Silver dagger is the K-bar. The wrench, the fix was in. The lead pipe, the grub truck live stream was, quote, piped in. The rope, Kaylee and Maddie were bound and gagged. The gun, well, the lethal injection drugs won't be available. Why? Because cannibals cannot eat the organs of a poisoned victim. Ethan's poisoned victim. Ethan's organs were harvested. I hate to spoil this for you.
Okay, guys, I think I'll let me know if you guys can hear me and make sure we're good. And I think we're gonna pause it right there. I think that you guys heard enough. Um, I've been saying a lot of this, and I'm so glad this was put out yesterday. Um, and don't mind me, I'm just in like holiday mode, and I changed my shorty hit 40 picture to me and my daddy again because it's you know, holidays and stuff. But y'all, I just had to share and thank you again, Post Woke. The link to the whole video of hers is from last night in the description box. Post Woke knows, I know, we both know. We know what has been not really heavily paid attention to. And I don't know, but I've spent 3 years almost focusing on what I was told by the person that was speaking all of this. And I cannot say it's a lie because that would be a lie. Because you can't tell me in this what y'all are looking at. Brian Koberger looks just like this old man, right? That's Edward Upmore, and the guy next to him is young Edward Upmore. And the mascot for the Vandals is really, truthfully, literally Joe Vandal. He's named after Joseph Henry Upmore, and we're going to talk about her movie for today, and we're going to talk about this tricky thing I found. I'm not going to give my secrets away quite yet, but after seeing Post Woke video, again, love her, love her. She has the brain that I only could wish to have. Like she's my brain on fire, and she's so well spoken. She's just a rock star. So if you don't follow Post Woke World, go do so. But the link to the videos in my description, so you can go follow. I love you guys, and I'm gonna tell you guys. Oh, hold on. Let me answer Dan's about Tommy. Um, I am glad this is being because I wanted to honor Tommy in a way. Um, so anyone who follows Tommy last night was word. Um, Tommy announced something, and Angela, hold on. Let me see if I can. I wish I could just change it quickly in here, but it's streamlined. I can't. I'm gonna make a note, you guys, because I want you guys to go show love to Tommy, and I'm gonna put his link, or if TK's still in here, TK, if you can put the link to last night's live from Tommy, and it's really awful. And I went right before they were done on his live, and I just he kept putting the link out there, and I just wanted to send some love in person to Tommy, and you know, I thought it was a really beautiful moment. Birdie was up there right before me and Dago and a couple of his mods. Um, it really spoke volumes to me, and I was so blessed to be able to click that link and go say my piece. Um, Tommy is the guy that I think, and I told Tommy this, and he always reminds me of someone that my dad, because my dad was really friends with anyone and everyone, but Tommy and my dad were like OGs, and I just always saw my dad. If Tommy lived here, my dad would be like, Tommy, you know Tommy, like just something about Tommy. And so when I saw Tommy's face last night before he even said what he said and announced his announcement, I said something was wrong, and it really broke my heart. It really did. And I just hope that, and I said this at the end when I was speaking, and I'm so blessed to have been able to say anything. I think we all have to take a step sometimes and not always be so hard on one another on YouTube. Because at the end of the day, we are all facing real life challenges, and we all truly, even if the guilters, the real guilters, unless they're nutty and they literally know the truth and they're just bullshitting, every one of us wants the same outcome when it comes to this case, right? And that's what we have to keep in mind. Just like everybody and facing what America is facing right now, we all have the same end goal. We really do. So we have to stop coming at each other like I'm really gonna say this. We have to stop coming at each other. Not all of us, and I'm not saying you all do this, but even Birdie. I've judged Birdie, and then I heard Birdie talk about his dad and his dad dying. And it hit me in a different way. And it really reminded me, you guys, we are all just people. We're all trying to do the best we can with what we. And I really, really felt bad in that moment. And I really think that that's part of this whole blessing. We all have this opportunity, those of us creators, I don't like the word creators, YouTubers, we have this opportunity to be who we want to be. I told myself I would never change who I am and that I was on a mission to do a little bit of good. And I think that's most of our goal. And so I just hope everyone will go. I will put the link to Tommy, making the note in the description box, and you guys go show some love and leave loving, caring messages. Be positive. And I told Tommy we're not gonna say the C word. We're not saying none of that. And we do have the capability to be very strong with everybody else. And at the end of the day, we only have so much power over what happens with Trey and coworkers at the end of the day. But we also have a lot of power in how we treat other people. And at the end of the day, like I said, we all want the same outcome, even if we don't seem like it in our own ways. So I love you guys, and I hope you guys do that. Um, Tommy needs a lot of love, and I want to say this also. The holidays are coming, and I just want you guys to know I'm gonna start putting out videos on how to handle grief, stuff like that, because I'm nowhere near able to say I know how to handle it, but I want people to know I'm there with them. So life sucks sometimes, and if we can't support each other, then what are we doing anyways? So I love you. Um, thank you all for, yes, Ricky, thank you. Everybody was talking about ivermectin last night. And if I don't see your guys' comments, feel free to email me. It's on my page on my about me. Um, I don't want to miss you guys, and I just have to keep my focus. And I'll say this till the day I'm done doing this, just because of ADHD and trying to make sense so you guys aren't like, what the hell is she actually talking? But yes, ivermectin. Um, literally, I've heard last night that was a big topic of discussion, and I think people need to look into it. I literally got off that live and I said I gotta go get ivermectin just in case, because you don't want to wait until it's not allowed anymore or something. And if you are told something that's not a good outcome, why wouldn't you try? You know? And hi, Tammy. Tammy says, before you get off, remind me to point out somewhere where you need to listen to DMs. Something happens a month ago. Oh wow, Tyler Robinson. Yeah, and trust and believe, I'm on that too. And the Tyler Robinson stuff, and this is all what I'm talking about, you guys. Everyone in authority wants us to not be able to know what's, well, I'm going to tell you guys my theory, and it's not mine. So I'm taking credibility. I'm going to give credibility where it's due to whoever 1122 King Road Clue is, who made that movie or made, you know, Act 3, The Midnight Special. Giving credit to also Post Woke World. He was into this too and talking to the guy as well. And I pray to God that guy's even alive and still kicking in here, okay? Because that's how serious this is. And so I put this as Act 1, just to be kind of snarky, but it's like part 1, because I literally still cannot wrap my head around the shit that I've heard and found since last night after Post Woke's video. And so you guys are going to have to bear with me. I'll be live again tomorrow. And the next day, most likely. It's going to take 3, I think, to just really make points that I think people have to pay attention to. And again, I just will say, Ann Taylor, if I did say this, I don't know. I thought and wrote so many things. I firmly believe Becca Barlow and Taylor, away from Nashville, they are still on this case for a reason. And I will say I saw Todd's last video earlier, and it reminded me that I had yesterday made a video and I posted it like an hour ago. I just had to add a few things, and it was about a Boise attorney who had to resign and lost her license because she's feeding drugs to her client in prison. And so I just, there's things going on in Idaho that people have to pay attention to. And I think there's a real reason why these 3 women are still on the case of people. And are we going to know that? No. I mean, they're probably not even trying to let the state know what they're doing until they're ready to wham bam, thank you, ma'am, slam dunk, do it. Like, file shit. But I think that's also because I think that a lot of people might be getting in trouble after Brian files whatever he's doing. He will be executed, in my opinion, as he stated. And what I'm about to share with you is going to lead into a theory as to how he was ever in, and it it fits with what I've been saying, because you guys, I told you, I got information and I did my homework, and for 2 years now, I literally have tried to find the missing link to the DNA of IJJ. Well, I found it. And so I was like, oh, hell no, there's no way I'm going to let this fly by. Nobody's going to pretend that they said it first except 1122 King Road Clue, homie boy. And I pray to God again that that dude's still alive. At the time of 2022, I was told that guy was a 40-year-old person. He was the photographer there that night. And I'm hopeful he hasn't been, put on the chopping. But I should have put this, and I'm going to say trigger warning, big trigger warning to anyone who can't handle evil satanic disgust, because this is what I've been avoiding saying. It's because it's not right, and it's not anything I ever knew was something that actually went on. Um, but it's important, and I have said my prayers, and I'm going to be okay sharing this because someone has to do it. Post Woke did it. I'm gonna elaborate on this, and it's up to you guys. You don't have to believe anything I say, but I'm gonna try and make sense of what doesn't make sense, from the grub truck to everything else. And I will tell you, I'm still at a couple places that I don't understand a few things, and I'm still digging, but I feel the need that this needs to come up, and this will never be stated on mainstream media. And I do have to say that I do believe every parent involved knows exactly what happened to their children. Why they are allowing Brian Koberger to take the fall is beyond me. Um, because in my opinion, no bodies were taken out of place, and I don't believe they had an option to cremate. This is all speculation. I have a right to say what the fuck I think, and YouTube has already shut me off from people even seeing shit. And so it's, I'm gonna tell the truth because I feel it was my it's it's supposed to be okay. So trigger warning: if you can't handle gore, it's probably time you exit. And love ya, but I have to be honest. And um, you can't sue a girl for defamation if I'm telling the truth. And so if someone gets mad about what I'm saying, then they have to prove that I'm absolutely lying. And I don't find that to be possible because you can't prove what I'm about to do. So I'm not lying. I'm not trying to create drama. I'm talking and speaking what's been sickly and placed and ingrained upon my heart that I have yet to say for a long time. So thank you, Jackie. And thanks everyone who's here. So honestly, if people don't like it, thank you, Angela. Yes, God's got my back. Because I feel overwhelmed if I'm not going to speak it. So I literally, if I sound all over the place, I said part one. We're going to go through this in sections because there's a lot to cover. But I want to cover the main part. And I made a video and I made it clear to you guys. I've said read up more Zane for a long time. Okay. So we'll start there because that's what I was told. Read up more. And I didn't even have enough time to even get the freaking picture of Halloween, but I think everyone here probably knows the picture I'm talking about with Reed and Alpha Gamma Rho fraternity bros dressed up Halloween weekend, him with a K-bar knife in his front pocket, right? Um, so we'll start there. His cousin, Ben, Ben's birthday is November 13th, okay? And so Ben's older than Reed by like a year or two. I'm not totally sure. What I've been told is, and this is where I get a little confused. Ben leveled up. However, Reed is called the crazy pirate. Reed's allegedly who wanted Brent Kopach. I don't know. I believe they also know Jordan Baker because I think they're all part of weird cult like family, which we'll get into deeper. But I'm going to try and cover the basics, and then y'all are free to go look at this and look this shit up. My point is that I've been saying though Brian Koberger has to be related to these brothers, and I damn well would die on the fact. I will take it to my grave. At this point, Brian Koberger is related by distant third cousins, I believe, to these guys. Okay? And from what I've gathered now, everything from I don't know if he knew or not, but I do know that would be one way if he wanted to make friends with his, distant cousins and they knew about him, or even if he didn't ever meet them, but they knew cousins, weirdo cousins here, and he knows everything and he's investigating everything. They somehow found a way to pin this shit on Mr. Cooper. And that's a bunch of fucking bullshit. So my now issue is, in my mind and my heart, I believe Brian Koberger did not want his family to have to testify, and I don't know why, except for the fact that I believe wholeheartedly, and rest in peace, Henrietta Kathy Bettino, Brian Koberger's grandmother, Michael Koberger's mama. I believe she had an affair with an Upmore, and that is actually Mr. Michael Koberger, his father. Maybe Michael Koberger, and this is the sad part, so we need to be respectful because we don't know. But fucking believe Ann Taylor knew because I told Ann Taylor, just like I told Haley's family all of this as soon as I heard it. So my questions are for Haley's family, why the fuck are you still believing? And I'm trying to work on my words. Why are you gonna still believe when now the same guy I told you years ago? Why are you gonna believe Brian did this? Why are you dead set on Brian did this? Yet nobody can see any real evidence of Brian Koberger doing it. So are you guys all paid off to keep your mouth shut? What has occurred for these people to act so ignorant when I gave them the information? And I felt horrible doing that. But I'm not going to sleep at night if I have information, just like I felt it necessary to contact Sarah Cardano. I have these feelings and I'm not going to ignore them based on I might look stupid. It's not about me looking stupid. At the end of the day, I don't look stupid. I look right. And what I was told looks right at this point. And what nobody wants to understand is that all of these kids, many of them are related. Bethany to the Upmores, Brian to the Upmores, Brian to Daniel Esky, the co-owner of the home, 1122 King Road. Brian and likely Bethany, but I cannot prove it. But Bethany Upmores, Bethany Showalter, probably Brian Showalter. These all people, they all hailed from wherever on the Brotherhood ship in the 1800s, called the Brotherhood legitimately. And they landed in Pennsylvania. And I have a Showalter here in my phone who's a doctor. She's related. So I'm not fucking around just to fuck with people. I don't make money. I'm not making money. YouTube hates me. I literally couldn't tell you guys anything. I could probably get 1,000,000 views and they'd be like, you got one view. Okay? So if anyone wants to hate on me for what I'm saying, F off. Um, sorry, Carly, Farley, whoever the fuck. I'm not here to fuck around. I'm here to be real with my theory, and other people get to do that. And I think it's only fair that I get to finally share and make sense of my extensive research now that I have the one little missing link that makes sense. And I think that people need to be very aware. There is serial killer-ish people on the loose, and I think everyone in Idaho knows that. They're protecting the money. So let me go back a little. I'm trying to make this make sense. So, and I know some people are not going to even think, I don't care. This is what I was told. I did my homework. And I'm going to tell you, the video post posted, I had no clue about some features and some things that will explain things better to you. And I'm not even this one crazy. I told you guys I use my like spirit box on my phone, and I've told you guys all the time that Ethan talks. I know it's Ethan. I just know it's Ethan. I did not even hit this thing, and it was in my lap. My dog was also in my lap, so I don't know if she hit something, but it's been talking the whole time. There's a reason there were not bodies taken out of. They're not going to tell you that, and families don't want to acknowledge it. I don't know why. I don't know why they're not suing the shit out of Idaho. But there's not bodies being taken out, in my humble, personal, all speculative opinion, because of what was done to those. And I do not believe we were given the entirety as to autopsy information. We were given enough to know what we already suspected, right? And I think Kathy Mabbitt, well, I think her face in that one interview speaks volumes because once she did go in that house, I'm sorry, everyone there knows exactly what happened to those kids. And again, you will need to go back and watch Post Loke's video to see what was being said to her. But I'm gonna read. I tried to share this, but I'm gonna read based on that same video a couple things to make some things make sense. From the grub truck to how many people knew to what was actually in my mind and what I was told going on. And, you know, I respect every ounce of the victims and their families to an extent. I don't believe it's giving justice to victims if the truth is never going to be told. And if I happen, I'm not saying I know the truth, I'm not saying this is factual, 100% all correct information, but I think the public has a right to know. And it makes a lot of sense to me. And I think it might make some sense to you guys. And it's not anybody else's choice to say what the fuck makes sense and what matters. It's just, it's so I got a lot of questions answered. So I'm gonna just start to read some of these things to you guys because I think it's important. And this is AI responding to Post Woke's video yesterday. And it literally answers so many weird questions that I've had that it freaked me out completely. Completely. So I do want to say I believe the grub truckers are definitely involved. And again, trigger warning, because I don't want to put people off by some of the stuff that is about to come relevant. Um, and I promise I'll respond to you guys. Just have patience with me. This is really hard for me to also. It's been hard. It's been a hard couple. Like yesterday, last night, today. It's hard because I never wanted anything confirmed to me. Um, and it has been. So, and if any of you, I'll also make a note and I'll repost the 1122 King Road on Rumble video. And that's what this is talking about. It's all referencing 1122 King Road Clue, whoever he was, his video that still remains on Rumble. And I've told you guys many times to go watch it. I had to watch it many times. I understood some things. Now I fully understand. So let's start here. The grub truck is presented by, I'm going to call him Clue. Let's not get him mixed up with Get a Clue or whatever, but we're going to call him Clue. So the whole purpose is saying the grub truck is presented as a significant clue within the elaborate theory discussed in the video, appearing in multiple contexts. Joe from the grub truck, the manager, the owner, that's John Fletcher. Joe Woodall's involvement. He's identified as a person with the University of Idaho president, noted as the guy that was in the grub truck video. Sorry, some of this doesn't make sense. I copied and pasted. Joe Woodall has huge ties to what happened. I'm still trying to understand. I think I know. That's why we're going to have part 2 and possibly part 3. But just know, the grub truckers are involved. And I'm going to explain further how you can understand that. So this whole live stream, you guys know the Twitch live stream, right? They were taped in, right? That's what they it's quoted in Luke's video from what's been stated. This is implying, you guys, that there was definitely a prearranged event and it was controlled. So what we're seeing on the Grub Truck video with Haley and Maddie and Showalter, it was allegedly very much prearranged and very much controlled. And it says and we're going to get into some other worse words here. And I think I have something about Murphy that might really matter too. And yes, this is AI explaining something, but I've done my homework and I know half of this already. I've just never stated it because I think it's disgusting, satanic, and evil. But if anyone paid attention to Tebow, the black guy at the grub truck, in my opinion, he was not comfortable with whatever situation. He just looked annoyed. He looked annoyed. And now I kind of understand because he is considered to be, quote unquote, the organ grinder monkey, or he's the organ grinder. We'll stop there for a second. He's the young black guy serving food at the club truck. He is part of how Brian got involved, allegedly. He ran what's called a monkey errand. He was tasked with the job to befriend and bait Brian Koberger. And then you have Kaylee and Maddie at the grub. The theory in this video, shared by Post Woke, which just picks everything in the video that I'm talking about by 1122 King Road Clue. It mentions a thin blonde and a fat man present when KG and MM are at the grub truck waiting for food. So Joe makes some statement, and what it really makes sense to be in reality is saying that this was all planned. Joe, Tebow, every statement made means something. And even like I've said for God knows how long, we hear like the speaker guy who's speaking out loud, like he's fucking Santa Claus or God or something from that truck when he says time to start the old engine. That's weird, and I still don't know the answer to who that is. But the point is this is all planned. And the patrons, the thin blonde is Reed Upmore's sister, Shay Upmore, talking to the fat guy who is Joe Vito. And, you know, coffee cakes and bloodstains boy with the yellow Dutch Bros sweater. And the knot on his head later, you know, when Homeboy, who Homeboy also matters, has that sign. And so I'm trying to make sense for you guys of how, and I know it might not at all ever make sense. It's too many people. But I'm trying very much to make sense of how so many people could be involved. And again, in my personal humble opinion, the only way you get this kind of response from several people from the bottom to the top, the Molly McMichelsons to the 33rd degree leveling up Masons, is a cult. Okay? That's just my opinion. But, so, let's move on. Kaylee and Maddie. Hold on, guys. My phone's acting stupid. So, apparently, we've got the grub checker. We've got Tebow. Tebow makes some comments. They all make comments. And then there's whatever we hear out loud above, right? Well, okay. When you go back and look at exactly what's stated in the grub chart, and if I took the time to do this and separate it, we'd be here all day. But some of us know if something wasn't right. So Tebow is allegedly what's called the organist or organ grinder. I don't even want to have to explain, but this is all grub truck terminology, and I think it's important for people to go back and look at Joe Woodall and where he lived, what his address was at the time. I'm not going to say it out loud, but I do believe he may have lived somewhere where a vehicle could have been, circling or like heading to the area and going back, but not leaving the full blown area where you would assume because they lived in the area close enough to not see the vehicle exit completely. I think that people have to pay attention that there's a reference to the dog Wishbone. Um, I believe that was a show, Wishbone the dog, a while back, and we'll get to that again. But Tebow is the organ grinder monkey Aaron. Tebow is the young guy, and I'm sorry guys if I'm repeating, but I'm trying to make sense of what I have here. He's a young black guy serving food at the He's an operative sent on an organ grinder monkey errand to befriend and date Brian Coburn. And he does so at WSU. So he's kind of a pawn in this game, but that's what they are calling him. Okay, you guys? And so the grub truck has a lot of significance. And seriously, it's kind of sick because it makes everything we've witnessed, and some of us, many of us, have thought watching it nowadays that it really all was planned, and everybody but Haley and Mandy knew what was about to happen. And that's sick to me. It's so sick. So the grub truck itself basically has served as like this central hub in the whole theory. It's connecting individuals, the weird bullshit coded language, it's all allegorical, certain events, and providing alleged evidence of a pre planned operation. So, 1122 King Road Clue in his video, he always says this is just one man's theory, but he's gone so far as to make a long movie about it. He's shared it with multiple people that also felt like we were all playing some game of Clue, right? It made people go crazy in a sense, and I'm not the only one. We all wanted more answers. And the video also mentions a formula, and this is where we get into Freemasonry, allegories, and such. And I think I'm going to save this part. Oh, let me see. The math equation is about Ethan. It's all their initials, okay? I can't say it without showing it and make it make sense. But there's also mention of Brian Coburn. So that mathematic equation all leads to something. And this is what Freemasons, and if you know what gematria is, it's like a Jewish thing, I believe. Don't quote me on this, but hang with me. I'll get back to the things that don't make much sense later. But Brian Coburn, his parents were also they were from Brooklyn. And the video mentions Empire the Dog and 33 or an evil empire. So all of their literal initials matter, apparently, if you're Freemasons, I guess. And in this situation. And I know you guys know when there's been talk about a cleanup guy or people. 1122, and you guys have to go back and watch the video. So maybe after I tell you this first portion, you'll go back and something might hit you different. But there's a janitor analogy by 1122 King Road Clue. And it's describing somebody's role in cleaning up the whole move, right? And it also refers to something tied to karma. And he states in his video, or he refers to analogy type of things like Matt Damon and Good Will Hunting. the janitor has to clean this mess up. So somebody is believed to be uniquely capable of understanding and making sense of the intricate, coded, and seemingly chaotic information all tied to the murders, just like the alleged genius janitor in Goodwill Hunting, who solved mathematical problems. And that's like the part in 1122 King Road Clues video that I've always asked what movie is he talking about, because he shows a guy and he knows everything. It's like the man who knew too much. And so I do believe Brian Koberger got involved based on wanting to know more. We all want to know more. What are we talking about? We're talking about Brian Koberger and this crazy case. We are all seeking answers. Why would a criminology student not be seeking answers nearby where the hell he decided to move? But better yet, if he was lured there, baited there, what is he supposed to say? Even is at the end of the day, oh yeah, nobody believes anything, anyways. You know, so is he really going to implicate himself and say, yeah, I was baited there by my cousins, whether he knew or didn't know they were his cousins? But allegedly, Tebow was supposed to go to WSU because he doesn't go to U or didn't go. He was supposed to go to Compton Hall. You know, Brian was in Wilson, where he had his office. Compton, when Tebow's asked where he's from, or when someone brings something up on the grub truck, Tebow says he's from Compton. He's not talking about Compton, Los Angeles, where I got my tramp stamp tattoo, because they don't allow it in the fancier parts of LA or on the beach. They don't allow that in the city. So I had to go to Compton to get my tattoo. He says I'm from Compton, but he doesn't mean that. He was literally referring to Compton's home, where he said to say got Brian Koberger's DNA. He said that's where he met, befriended him, played silly, and got his number, exchanged numbers, and then invited Brian Koberger to show up at that house, because that's where we're gonna end up. Is that somebody baited him to 1122 King Road. And it really bothers me because my stomach hurts just even trying to even say it. If Brian Koberger was there and baited there, it does not cross my mind at any question that that dude wouldn't have been like, it's okay, I'm here to help you. Like, in a way that he truly meant, I'm here to help you. If he saw a bunch of people fucked up dead. But then I think Brian Koberger would have been shit scared. And who's going to believe you when you realize you're the fall guy? Like, at the end of the day, if you realize they literally put you in this place. And I love, nobody put those girls in a jail cell and said, tell the truth or you're not leaving. Molly is to go still keep selling Molly and God knows what else to people with her homies. And Brian's in a jail cell. And you know what? Molly's not the informant. From what I've gathered, Ben Reed Moore's cousin, who leveled up to masonry degrees this night on the night of his birthday, he is the informant. And you know what? I haven't even had the chance, and this is just the first time I'm even saying it out loud, making sense in my mind. If I believe, which I know for a fact, Brian Koberger, or Melissa, I should say, because that's what I have proof of, is related to Dan, the co-owner of 1122 King Road, the town. Okay? So if she is related, and Brian's her brother, for real, they're both related. So if I've been told he has ties to Homeland Security. Don't know, have no clue. I do know what I've looked up in terms of his family members in Georgia and Atlanta. There is a lady, I believe maybe his mother or his great aunt or something. There's a woman who has a business title that basically seems like like the head of being in charge of informants or some agency that you just would obviously it would all make sense. And so if Brian's related, then how do I know Ben and Reed aren't related? And maybe he is an informant. And or they got caught because they love to snort things. So maybe Ben got caught up. Ben's older than Reed. And well, maybe he did get caught up and he was the CI. And so this just all played out. Therefore, the law also would then become involved in knowing the truth of the matter. And see, this is why I haven't said any of this because even saying it now, I sound like a fucking crazy person. Because you literally need to put it all out. And here's the deal I'm going to do that for you. I seriously am going to lay it all out. But I will be damned if somebody else wants to come up with this shit and say, aside from 1122 King Road Clue, that this is their shit and that they've been saying this because they haven't, and I have. And I have spent day in and day out not even grieving my own dad's death. I grieve these kids more than I have my dad to keep my mind off of that property, which is not good. I'll admit that. But my point is, I have said this and I have done my damnedest while also trying not to get my life put in danger, as I've been told it could be, to tell the truth. And I will say, Ann Taylor, Vic Barlow, they know as much as I could give in terms of how to understand this family dynamic. And Becca Barlow only came on after I sent Ann Taylor saying, you need to have someone who knows the names of these people. They need to know where to look for connections. How do you look? I have 14,000 people on my ancestry or my DNA shit. So where would you even know how to start to look for any type of connection if you don't know? But I had that information. So I gave it to them. Next thing I know, Victor Barlow's on the case. And I'm not literally trying to, I know in my last video, it was like shoot my own horn. I was shooting my horn at the point. I'm just trying to make sense of everything to my own self as well, you guys, because this is very serious. And we've got major problems. But the problem is that I believe everyone knows. Hi, Bubs. I believe they all know. And they're protecting because, like I said, Joe Vandal is named after Joseph. This is all tied to fraternity type thing. And I'm not gonna tell you. You guys are gonna have to wait till the next one for the big bang because I do now know. Like I said, I've now connected my dots as to why this even matters. And there's something to be said though that is very scary is that I believe many people in power know that they're covering up something that's very bad and that there is someone or someone, and I believe it is multiple people of one family who are known for what occurred. But I will say wholeheartedly, sadly, I believe that, well, hold on, let me just share a little bit more. Um, I will say that something was mentioned about the grub test. Um, there was something about a gopher vehicle. And I have to go back and rewatch this again too. But this gopher vehicle is allegedly Ethan Street. And it was an item acquired by the alleged conspirators. And this is what is said when it's said to be playing the Masonic game of chess. And I think Ann Taylor knows exactly. And I'm not saying she knew because of me. She knew before. She said a lot of things, like she spoke about chess. Um, I don't think Ann Taylor's stupid. I don't think anyone in this area is stupid. I think they all know that they've allowed this monstrous individual, but it's a family of them, just one's worse than the other, to reside and thrive and survive with no no punishment. And again, this is all just my thoughts based on what I've learned. But looking back, I think looking at Tebow, how annoyed he was, I really feel like he's one of the people that were participating in this whole, I don't have a word for what you even call what happened. He was one of the participants because I guess in a way I get it. If you're scared and you're threatened and you don't know what to do and you know what's happened to some people, you don't really have a choice. Like, you know, after the fact, I would say that, how do you sleep at night? Why is this much time passed? Like, you can get the fuck out of there and you can tell the truth. But we don't know how deep this goes, and I can guarantee you it's pretty deep. But it makes more sense as to Tebow's demeanor, in my opinion. Um, and it's very sad. But the thing is that I truly believe Brian Koberger shares a business with Ben and Reed. And there's a reason someone spent so much time making a whole video about this. No one does that just for shits and giggles, right? I will also say that this person alleges that they called and reported Ben and Reed on January 21st of 2023 to the FBI. And obviously, that didn't make they allege that Brian's car did drive around because they knew that GPS would not land him in the proper place. He was allegedly supposed to be called or invited by Tebow to that house and told to come to the front door. I cannot prove this. I cannot say that this is factual, but that's what apparently the operative Tebow was sent. His errand was to complete this, to meet Brian, make him be his friend, and then bait him to the scene of the crime. However, I don't know how that can occur if we don't have solid proof of Brian's phone being there. So I'm saying, take all of what I'm telling you. This is just what literally I said. AI has told me this based on post woke's video. However, I know a lot of this to actually be true. And I think that part two of this will make you guys make more sense of it, but I can't like overwhelm you guys. I'm overwhelmed with this. What I think matters is that if I want to know, and I know we're not gonna know, did Brian's dad know he wasn't a Koberger if he's not a Koberger? And if he indeed is fathered by an Upmore? Because make, you can't lie. Like these people, Brian looks like these guys, right? And then I wonder, did they know or did they not know? Did Brian go to that area for the sake of, oh, I have family there. I want to learn about them. He did do genetics, DNA, whatever, that they used against him. So did he find out and was he like, oh, he's weird a little. So what? Was he like, maybe I can make friends with my cousins? And then they fucking framed him. We started talking about drip drop. I don't know. Maybe we should ask why he looks like the guy with the mask and the other Ring doorbell camera. But I'm not going to get into. There's so much going on here that people have yet to pay attention to. Just like Darren Duncan. And I'm sorry, but why would the police call Darren Duncan? How would they know to call Darren Duncan, Brett Popovich's best friend? How would they know to call him when he himself said they hadn't talked in a while and hadn't seen each other? None of that makes sense. And why were everybody involved phones wiped? Brian didn't wipe his phone. And if he did, so what? Maybe he did because he's a Fed and because he's not stupid. But what about Hannah Clear? What about Brent Kupaka? What about everybody else's phone who was wiped when you found them dead in their house, allegedly? Why was Kaylee's phone doing weird shit? Like, these are the things that I don't know how a family member of any of these children, and they are children in my book, why are they not asking questions and demanding answers? Hi, Holly Berry. Sorry, guys, I'm now just looking at chat, guys. And I mean, I'm just, don't be sorry, Holly Berry. I love ya. And Angela, what dogs? And my God, what kind of dogs need rescue? Don't make me go fly somewhere. Yes, and yeah, Adam Upmore. He lives right around Reed and Jones. Adam. Oh, by the way, Reed's dad's name is Roger. Roger Upmore. And there's Adam Upmore. And here's the deal. Maybe Adam is also a PI or something. Adam's a school principal from what I gather. But Haley says I told no, Maddie says I told Adam everything. I will be damned if I have to listen to another person think that Adam Lauda is Adam, that is who they were talking to. And I also will be damned if people don't want to tell me, if people think Showalter had no part in it. Everyone in that, everyone knew, well, I will say, the thin blonde and the fat guy that is spoken about, which is Joe Vito and Shay Upmore, Reed or Ben. I can't remember which one. It's a sister of one of them. The blonde talking to Joe Vito and Yellow Guy. Um, he states that they're unaware of what accomplice, like their accomplices, but being unaware. And I think a lot of the people in that Scrub Truck video might be. But then you have everything else that implies that people definitely knew. And I will say, Ethan, I've said this for a long time, but I'm going to say it straight up. Ethan was the target. Anyone who wants to fight and box me over that, that's fine. Ethan was the target. Ethan, this is all speculation. It's just my opinion. I have a First Amendment right to say what I think and how I feel, and you can't take blood out of a turnip. I think that was Dan, right? You can't do it. So sue me for speaking what I was told, because this is what I was told. speaking it to be truth or not. You decide. Ethan was sacrificed and his organs were harvested. Now take a look at everything else I've said to you guys. Who else? And I was told his family, they leveled up. Firstborn son. Some people take the Bible a little too seriously. That's not what God intended when he said sacrifice your firstborn. Also, the ties to Israel and Ukraine and China that JLR mentioned, I'm not going to say, but I think I have it. That house was demolished for many reasons. My opinion, Brian comes from a lineage of bad people. And um, does he know that or not know that? I don't know. The smart thing to do, especially if Brian, even if he's innocent and not tied to any federal agency. However, I will say now that I just said that, and I was about to shit on Donald Trump in my video, but I cut that out of the video I posted because I was so mad. And trust me, I'm not a Trump fan, and I will speak on it all day, every day at this point because I think it's ridiculous that our nation is in peril and it's okay for people to go hungry, single mothers, people with children, especially in my state who can't afford rent and now they have to choose between paying for food or paying for rent because of this bullshit. So I'm not getting in politics. I don't care if people like it or don't like it. What I care about is people. And people are not what matters right now in America. And politicians keeping this government shut down, it is not on the Democrats. It is on Donald Trump and it is on the Epstein files. And until anyone wants to talk about the Epstein files, they cannot blame Democrats for shit. And that's really sad if we have pedophiles working in our government. Period. So if people don't like it, I'm not pulling no race card. I'm saying what's true as a victim and survivor of sexual assault. People need to know the truth. And what's happening is bullshit. And now I'm losing my train of thought completely because I'm so pissed off about the suffering of people. But that's okay because my thing is we have a choice, is we can be community together. We don't have to fight over red or blue and left and right. We can care about those that we see in our community that need help. Because right now it's about to be like that. And we have a choice. We come out of it better together or we get divided because that's exactly what some people want us to do. So we just go into our own civil war. And I'm telling you, Abe Lincoln said that's the worst war to be in. Is a war amongst our. Don't quote me because that's not at all what he said, but it was basically the gist of it. But I'm telling you guys, we have choices. We can let Idaho go. We can let Brian go to the rot in a jail. We cannot give a shit who leaked the information because they don't want to tell us who the leak was. I mean, at what point are these families going to even wake up and say, what the fuck? Oh, well, I think it's because these families already know, yet they're not telling us because likely they were paid off, probably by one of the other families. Hush up. And I'm looking into what it means when I'm learning that Ethan's Jeep was acquired by the perpetrators. So I'd like to see, first and foremost, they better own that red Jeep still. Number one. Number two, I want to know what vehicles do these people own? What did they drive in 2022 when this all occurred? And you can't lie when I'm showing you guys over and over again. Brian Koberger looks like these people. Reed's dad, Roger. Then you got Adam Upmore. They all live in small town Cottonwood, Cotton, fucking Bunny Cottontail. I don't know. Cottonwood, Cutter, something Ville. Hayville, something. Cutter, I don't know. Because I'm trying to keep the devil out of my life. And I literally have, I can prove to you guys, in my opinion, the exculpatory evidence is that Bethany knows exactly what happened because she is related to Read Upmore and Ben Upmore. And I have proof of them. Oh, by the way, I started this live. If Bubs is still here. Oh, good. Bubs, guess who I'm related to? Guess. Just guess. And it's shocking to me because my mom told me the other day the last name of someone that she's related to, and I said, "Oh no, 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 nope." That was like yesterday or the day before. Right before I went live, I had an email from one of my DNA things with the same last name tied to me. Well, I'm Brian in a sense, but it's worse than that. Cheer, pom pom, girl. The caller of the noise complaint. Oh, and the last name of the expert saying Brian called his mommy. You know what? I guess I would be related to Brian because I call my mommy if I'm not around my mommy every day, even if I'm on vacation. And she's like, "Girl, you gotta stop calling me." And I'm like, "No, mom, I'm gonna call you and tell you everything." You know, there's Barnes who didn't like Brian calling his mommy because that's so weird. Says Ashley Banfield. Yep, I'm related to that name. But better yet, I'm related to the woman, the, the, the mama. I forgot for a second. Cynthia Barnhart. They must be Dan. They must be because you hear the name Rory, and Rory is a Rory Wilson of Doug Wilson. And I do believe that heavily tied, and I have much more. But I literally, I've had to come up with and just share. I'm going to put much better a presentation together that explains things that match for people who have no clue what I'm even talking about. Yeah, Bubs. It legitimately says her name. That was like 30 seconds before I was trying to go. Literally. So I don't even know. I'm like, that's great. Great. But but a Barnhart married a Koberger, and I did a video on that way back in the day. Cleo Inez Barnhart married somebody Koberger, and that's how I knew they were related. And but no, to have the actual lady be related to me, that's what I probably shouldn't have known. And I should have been like, "Hey, Nancy, want to visit?" No, you're an outsider. Stay out of here, and you got color in the skin. Don't visit. I'll be like, "But I'm a cheerleader." I will. I'm gonna make a note. Because I have the grave, I have like the literal grave, and I have the DNA, I have everything, and this is what, seriously, I wish I could go buy, I wish I could get like chalkboard paint because I have this wall, and I swear to God, if I could just use the wall to do like genetic genealogy shit, I would have already solved all this, but I can't do it on little pieces of paper. I'm there and I've got it, and now I really am tripping. But I have the missing link as to what I was missing, and you guys are not going to be, well, you're going to be shocked. But there is a serial killer ish connection. And I think that that's the, I think that that's even if they got caught doing what I'm trying to tell you guys, they would pin it on Koberger because he's related to, it's wild. But it's okay because Ryan still has his team, and I know he has a team for a reason. And I'm writing a note right now, Bud, to tag that video. Um, Barnhart. But because I know you know exactly who I'm talking about, and it's wild to me. But the whole thing is this ties back, and this is what makes sense of what 1122 King Road Clue has always told me, that this is a generational. It goes back 150 years. It's a Germanic tradition. I never understood. Now I do, because it's a family of killers, and that's all I can say right now. I will make it make sense for you guys. But hey, Noel, sorry, I don't think I said hi. Um, and so I'm just, you guys, I'm a little just, I literally got this information last night. Then I fell asleep and then I thought I was dreaming when I woke up. And I was like, oh my God, like this really was real. Then I was trying to make sense of it, and it's just a lot. And so I just wanted you guys to know there's a lot to be known. But I will be damned if anybody else wants to come out here except 1122 King Road Clue and say that they were the ones to be saying all this shit. I've said half of this. And I'm telling you, it all also ties to the Bible. So I'm trying to be godly while also being respectful of victims, while also speaking truth, which the truth is deplorable. It's disgusting. It's vile. And the only question that we should truly have at this time is, why are the families allowing this to go? Why did they allow this? Why did they allow Brian Koberger? And if I'm missing something, I'll be the first to say it. If I miss that he's a killer, fine, so be it. I don't buy it though. I believe he did not take that deal. I think plea deal to save his life, because I guarantee that's like, oh, all of a sudden we have the firing squad now. What the hell do we know? Once he was convicted and he was supposed to be put to death, they weren't going to do something that would kill Brian Koberger first, so that he couldn't talk. So I think the plan didn't go according to plan, and I hope that those boys, I hope they're shaking in their fucking logger fucking country ass boots right now, because they should be. They should be. Because they know how to use axes. They know how to use saws. They know exactly what they're doing, and they know exactly who was tied to this. And don't let me forget, Bill Thompson is also heavily involved. He's well aware. Maybe he didn't have a clue how deep and dark this would get. He's well aware too. And I have speculation. That's just my, crazy thoughts in my head, person in my head talking. But from what I know, Bill Thompson, the tapings. Um, oh, and I have definitely took Murphy, and there's a Murphy comment on the Grub Trust video, and it's in reference to Wishbone, the dog, but it's in. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. But it's clearly about Murphy, and it's clearly stating Murphy was handled, and Murphy went west, and blah blah blah. I mean, how sick is this? Literally. Hold on, I'm looking for it right now. We'll get back into. And did you guys know? Let me say this while I'm going through it. I'm literally so mind blown. Like we're reading things and my eyeballs were just like popping out my head. Um, Luke Thompson lives in Pocatello, Idaho. He works for ADT Services. He's also tied to Bill Thompson, and it links him to the prosecutor's family. And then I don't know who this. Hold on, I don't know who this is, but it says about Luke, and then it says about Pocatello, Idaho. The city is mentioned as the location of Luke Thompson, a young person who works for ADT Services, linking him to the prosecutor's family and the theory's elaborate conspiracy. Then it says Virginia. A full stack developer out of Virginia is mentioned as moonlighting as a food truck line worker, further expanding the network of individuals involved in the alleged conspiracy. Then it goes on to talk about Hayden, Idaho. Not one of the many Haydens of dudes, like Hayden fucking yellow, ugly Jack sweater with Reed's or Ben's sister, vice versa, one of them's cousin. Hayden, Idaho, has a furniture store manager that is in Hayden, Idaho, also listed among the family members of the prosecutor, suggesting their involvement in the pagan-themed conspiracy. So I'm telling y'all, this is pagan, satanic shit that no one wants to fucking come out and say. And guess what? Frank Kopaka, bro, he better still be alive. And if he isn't, something's not right. You don't go and take my son out, who is a Purple Heart veteran, and nobody heard that kid screaming at those police officers when SWAT showed up. That's bullshit. That is bullshit. And maybe you guys should look up Buddy the dog. Google Buddy the dog face, Buddy the dog face, and then put what's the fucking place? What's the place that the Freemasons go in California? Where they have their weird shit. I can't even think of the name. Yeah, Wishbone was a PBS show. What is the satanic place here that I can't even think of? Buddy the dog. Hold on. Oh, Buddy's not Buddy Airbud. Not that Buddy. We're talking original. What is the place? Brent was listing like locations. What what is that freaking place called? Where's the place that all the presidents go? I can't believe it's not on my brain is satanic place. Yeah, the owl place. What is it called? I have an article about Buddy the dog. Hey, Buddy the dog. I just cannot think of the damn name. Satanic place. Bohemian Grove. That's what I'm talking about. Right here. Bohemian Grove. God, I thought I was losing my shit completely real quick. You guys, seriously, I'm just telling you guys, this is seriously satanic. This is not just drugs. If drugs are involved, it is because they are hired to sell drugs to drug children and people and traffic people. It's not in San Francisco. It's in the hills above San Francisco. It's not in San Francisco, Tammy. It's in like the redwood forest type of Northern California where people get caught up for lots of things because before weed was legal, people were growing it out there. Um, but it's a gentleman's club out of San Francisco. And if it's in San Francisco, it's not in the city like people. If you say San Francisco, it's not like, oh, the buildings of San Francisco by any means. It's in the far top northern part where San Francisco meets wherever the hell it meets. But yes, you could be actually right if you say San Francisco. I don't know if that's also San Francisco County or what counties those are, but you're right in a sense. But you guys, I have an article and I thought it would pop up right away. It was about Buddy the dog, who's like some important thing about this Bohemian Grove, and it looked like Buddy the dog that was killed. But Bohemian Grove is where all the powerful men go. I'd love to see the Chapin, airlines tickets for the last, or their rental car, or their anything since 2021, 22. I'd love to see it. And I don't care. I'm tired of being nice to people who don't. You don't. Ethan's birthday is on the 29th, and I will correct myself, you guys. I said his birthday was coming up on the 28th. He was wrong. I cried my eyes out again yesterday watching what I'm going to share in the video I was making for his birthday, because many of you know I believe I have some weird ass connection to Ethan, and I was wrong. It's the 29th. But you just don't act like that. His parents, you don't do it. You are not okay with what's going on. You show the fuck up. I don't care what you believe. So, is it because you knew Ellen Koberger didn't kill your kid that you don't have audacity, which is the, like, you didn't have the balls to show up and say, you killed my kid. And you didn't have the balls to yell at him like Olivia Gonsalves did, because he didn't do it, right? Because I know he didn't do it. So unlike the girl Ashley accusing Rebecca Schofield, which God knows I thought to myself I should look deeper into this. Maybe that girl did have something, and maybe that's why she's still fighting her fight. Maybe the crazy fortune teller lady isn't wrong in at least some sense of the way. But at the end of the day, I'm going to speak what I know, what I found, and nobody has to believe me. I'm not speaking it to be true. We all have feelings, we all have brains, we all have opinions. And my opinion is that the Chapins have royally fucked over their son. And since YouTube doesn't want to even give me any shit of anything, I'm going to speak the truth. And you can't change the outcome, right? You can't change it because, when you made the decision to be okay with your son leaving this world, the best son you have, the one, number one, when you made that decision, I don't care what happens, because at the end of the day, God and only God knows what happened to that boy. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know the truth. And when a mother can sit there and say, I regret nothing, and now you're IGG besties, that's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. And I I suggest everyone, maybe later if I get bored, I'll go live tonight and we'll watch. I don't remember if I showed it again or not, but I'll watch. We can watch Morgan Wallen, who first Mother's Day for Stacy Chapin had her in San Diego. San Diego's a big portion, and that location has much to this case. Stacy Chapin got invited by Morgan Wallen and his mama. Well, Morgan Wallen and his badass mouth and his badass behavior, shortly after, a couple months after, took the rest. I don't think I showed live that video, but I rewatched it and I saw a different version, and I saw the epitome of entitled, bullshit, asshole, racist dude, and I think it's worth sharing again. I don't care if I shared it because that guy's an asshole. I like his music. I don't support him. He's a racist and he says stupid shit and he throws king chairs off buildings in Nashville that could kill someone. But you know what? He leveled up. He's America's almost number one, maybe number two country artist. Why? Why is that? Oh, because money talks and fucking criminals walk. Chapin is part of this. I mean, so Chapin, you mean Hunter Johnson looks unhealthy because Hunter Johnson looks unhealthy, 100%. And he, it was dumb. Hunter Chapin showed me all I needed to see in the body cam. You didn't run into that house. You didn't run to the police. You did not do anything a normal person would do. If a house is on fire and your loved one's in it, you're running towards the house, and a cop is going to stop you. If you get told your brother was murdered, you're going to run to the cops and ask. Nope, nothing of the kind. He just stood by. Oh yeah, is that why? Because you're 4:28 a.m. Your SUV parked itself there. Hence why it's part of the crime scene. Where did you go, Hunter? Where'd you go, Maisie? Oh, it's because y'all already knew what happened to your brother. And I'm sorry, it's sick. And the way they look at their parents, it speaks volumes. Rewatch the interviews, you guys. And I don't really care if I sound like a bitch. I'm the I'm one of few who is actually out here saying what needs to be said. Because if no one says it, the truth's never gonna come in. Ever. Ever, ever. Yes, one of many. Yes. And yes, I've said that before too. Allegedly, Ethan, here's the deal. And here's my struggle. Ethan and Brian both allegedly knew that they were sacrificing. However, I, I can't speak on Ethan because it breaks. I can't speak for Ethan. Um, I don't understand that, but I also don't know. But I know, and I'm learning about satanic ritual abuse, and I know for a fact kids are groomed to believe things, and it depends how long you're told something that you believe it. Just like I believe his siblings, the twins now, um, believe what has happened is okay. Where the point of they don't speak out because they think it's okay, they think it's normal, they think we're crazy, and that's the point. Though, but bottom line is, I don't think that they really have the most foresight into the fact that people really were going to fall in love with these kids, right? And we weren't going to accept some bullshit answers. And if Brian was also in the know, I was told he was going to walk. We're not done with this case yet. Why is he going to walk, though? And I will tell you, I do firmly believe, and I'm going back to the dark web, and they can put me on some list of terrorists, whatever. I don't give a shit. I've seen so many deathly situations that I never even knew people were so sick to put on the internet. But I'm going back to the dark web, the deep web, and I'm looking because I know for a fact there is a video, and this was live streamed, and it was all a plan from the guard. and whoever. This is what bothers me about you guys. Whoever picked him up, Kaylee's family defends, just like they defend Idaho4. Fucking granddaddy, or his, yeah, I believe it's his granddaddy. He fucking is the builder of the Kibi Dome. You know, where all the sports and fucking events are played. None of these kids are going to get in trouble. You got vampires living with these fucking kids that are dead. No one wants to talk about the reality of what happened. Why? It's almost the same fucking comparison of why nobody wants to talk about what's actually going on in America today. Because if you talk, you're in trouble. Yep, 8 hour rule. And I saw another 8 hour rule, and it might have been about Freemasons. I've been reading, I've been doing homework, and also the Pan-Hellenic bullshitters of America for the sororities. They say call 911. I did a video. It's like my second or third video I ever made. Call 911. But then they talk about how you might be in denial and call your house mom first. Okay. My 39-year-old house mom that looks like a frat girl that got me into OnlyFans. Which which one are you talking? Because all these ladies have done for these young ladies to get them in trouble. And I'm sorry, it's a bunch of bullshit. And I don't care if they sold drugs, I don't care if they sold their bodies. Not a single one of them deserves to go out of this life because somebody else chose that for them. But there is a serial killer, you guys, for a family of such. And they have very strict beliefs on what they do. And I'm trying to make sense of it. I'm literally trying to make sense of it. But I couldn't. I would I would lose my mind. I think they at more are Catholic, Jesuit, whatever they are. But I believe because if you look where they live, I wish I could. It's like Cottonwood. It is Cottonwood and Ted or something. Cottonwood. Hold on, I'm looking. Cottonwood, Idaho. And then there's, hold on, let me see what's next to Cottonwood. I mean, trust and believe, you guys. If I truly have such, my heart is in this case. If it wasn't Idaho and it wasn't this kind of racist, scary shit, I would have been there already. I would have raised money. I would have gone. I would have done anything to get the truth. But that's not what we're not ever supposed to get the truth. And Hitler knows it. Everybody knows it. Cultureville. That's what it's called. Cultureville. Cottonwood and Cultureville. That's where they live. And Grangeville. That's where these people live. First of all, let's not forget that Reed Upmore is a firefighter. So Dylan wants to say firefighter. Well, he's a forestry firefighter. He knows how to chop shit up with an axe. And also, it just all ties together. And I wish this is what I say all the time. And I wish if Big Red were here, he would know. He literally knows that I've been like, I wish I could take 10 of you guys, like the most of all of you, who, any one of you who wants to fucking show up in a room, and I wish we could be like sequestered, like a freaking jury panel, right? And I wish we could all just put our shit together. This should be a fucking reality show, and if someone steals this idea, fuck you. Because seriously, this should be a show. Because seriously, we all should be sequestered in an area to talk about our beliefs and what we know, what we've learned. I mean, we should be able to have our information and not be, totally from the outside world. My point is, we can get a lot of information and a lot of information to make sense if all of us who've been here from day one who are dedicated to this case could just sit down and make sense of some shit together. But that's not what they want. Hence the gag order. Hence, don't talk. Hence, we're not gonna let Brian even fucking go to trial. We're gonna scare his ass out of it. Or he's the Fed and ain't nobody scared him. They got scared themselves. Either way, we'll never know. We will never know the truth if Brian Koberger was a federal agent of any kind, in my opinion, because that would put him in much more grave danger than anything. But I do believe, in my heart of hearts, this dude did not do this. He's either just he got screwed royally by the wannabe royal families of America, or he was caught doing his job and they fucked him over. They didn't even know they were fucking him, and they didn't know they were arresting an agent, and now they do. And now we're gonna watch the dominoes fall, but it's gonna take time. Either way, one of those options has to be the case. And honestly, I don't think someone takes so much time to make a video like 1122 King Road Clue. And I want to say again, I pray to God, whoever that is, so long as a good guy, that that person is still here on this earth. Because I think we all can agree that people seem to go missing tied to this case when they speak a little too much. Bob says, Steve, right, how Sigma Chi Dad was the corner. Oh, and I have another thing. Okay, I'm not ready to talk, so I'll hold off on it. But yeah, and Cody Funk. I mean, Bethany. Everyone wants to blame Dylan, you guys, because of Dylan's size. I'm sorry, but Dylan, in my opinion, maybe Reed, not Reed. Maybe what the fuck's her boyfriend's name? I just saw it. I stalk these kids, and they're the only notifications I get is like Sigma Chi, Quinn Kelly, Quinn Kelly. I hope, if for his sake, if he just happens to have the luck of the trade, like if his family has made him have a bad name, I feel for him. His mother died shortly after this all occurred, right? They're still together. I thought they broke up. I posted last year that I thought they broke up. They're still together because they did happy, fucking relationship day to each other. But if he's involved, well, shouldn't that be easy to prove? You either were ever in Moscow or you lied, then you're a liar. Why are you lying? Those types of things are easy to, you know, catch. Else are they gonna catch things happen? But I do believe was a hope attack, and I will eventually show what I saw from what I was given. That what happened to them is because they deserved it. On top of the fact that some weird shit about being young, innocent, and Ethan was the target. I'm telling you. I can't say it in a way because I can't mess it up because it's disgusting and I need to be very on point. But also, Xana. Xana was not good enough for Ethan. Xana was not killed because her mom is a fucking snitch. Okay? Xana was killed because rich fucking assholes didn't think Xana was good enough for Ethan. Even though they want to say, oh, Xana spent a summer with us. Okay, well, in first few interviews, you made it sound like love was nothing and they were just stupid in love. No love triangle, no drugs involved. Lying. I would hope my family would never do that. Anybody I love. It is a shameful thing, and Stacey Chapin is the boss bitch in that family, and everyone knows it. And I really feel for Mr. Jim Chapin because I feel like he is not the problem. She is. She is. And maybe I'm wrong. But yes, one of many. Yep. They posted pictures of him with the girl before. If I died, I would fucking toss over in my ashes or my grave. But you know what? Again, I'm gonna say why were we never saw bodies. And I'm sorry, they said the bodies were taken out later that night. No, they weren't because there were news stations. You're gonna tell me every news station just said, okay, we respect this shit. When do news stations respect anybody? No, they didn't take bodies out because there were not bodies to be taken. Hence the reason that the disgusting, excruciating, cruel, heinous way that these kids were killed, they want to protect that. Okay, well, come up with some better lie. You know, oh well, Bub, if that's the case, good. All days didn't tape him. In my mind, Jim is like, okay, whatever, fine. Poor bald little man. I feel he's harmed by what happened. And you know what? If you married a woman who is, I'm just gonna say, I'm not gonna say things that I don't want to. I'm not gonna be a person. I am gonna continue to share on things that I do believe. When I share things, you guys, in videos of other situations, I am going to continue to talk about satanic ritual abuse. I'm going to talk about the government and what it doesn't tell us it's doing. I never knew this. I think people have to at least hear it. I'm not telling you you have to believe it, but I'm telling you to open your mind and at least understand that there's a reason there's a lot of people out here saying a lot of these things. And maybe it's for all of our benefit to at least hear about it. It's very scary to me. Um, but at the end of the day, I'm not here to I'm not gonna just keep making videos and pretend I don't know things when I do. And I wanna come at you guys with respect also. But I will just say right now because I did forget and I meant to put trigger warning big time because my next live will be big trigger warning and it will be much more detailed. And you guys think I want to go there? I surely don't. I really don't. Um, Someone has to speak the truth though, and I can't ignore what I feel I'm being told to be telling. And I would only hope I have to follow my gut. And like I said, you guys, YouTube already is doing weird shit to me. I literally have gone live more than I have in the last couple months, and YouTube's like, nope, no money. You don't make money. Everything I do on YouTube is like banned. And so that's fine. At the end of the day, I'm going to tell the truth and I will not tell the truth. And I will get it out any which way I can. And for the sake of these kids, because I'm not a parent, I'm not a mom, I don't know these kids. but I feel like I do. And I feel like many of us have come to love, and they don't deserve Brian Koberger as their justice. That's not justice for the Idaho 4. And if Idaho wants to play that game, then let's go. Right, Bugs? Like, let's go. They want to say, let go. Let's go. I'm not playing that game with Idaho. It's not a game to be played. Michelle, yeah, I think that if you look at the way they looked at their parents in the interviews, even to the last interview, I also think they despise their mother, especially Maisie. And I'm not going to feel bad saying it. I despise Stacey Chapin too. I don't believe her. I don't believe anything she says. Only thing I believe is she's new besties with the IGG, Kristen Middleman, plus wannabe fucking manly type woman. Not cute. And you don't make friends with the IGG people when you didn't give a fuck about the IGG to begin with. Make that make sense. It doesn't. It doesn't make sense. Yes, one of many. Everyone took part. Half the fucking city took part. And that's the problem. I don't know who betrayed her, but I know what I believe is Ethan wasn't even a triplet. Hence the lack of compassion to call them twins again. Ethan, I get it, you guys. I know. Triplets don't all have to look alike. I'm not stupid, okay? But Ethan was growing like a sprout compared to the other two. I'm trying not to say things so that I don't sound crazy and that I put them in a format that people will understand. There's still I I have to just I'm probably gonna have to leave it just because I'm left speechless, but I think that's okay. I think people have to understand that I, amongst many, wanting to seek truth to reality here. Um, Not only are we trying to be careful, but we're trying to make it be able to make sense. And I got overly excited to go live and share some of this with you guys, but I really, truly, in my heart of hearts, would rather spend the rest of my night not live, but putting shit together so tomorrow I can go live and share more that actually makes sense to you guys. And it's important to me because if I can make sense of something, and what if it is for real? I'm not saying everything I'm saying is right or correct. I'm just throwing out a theory as other people have. And in my opinion, if I could do that, I would have more respect and I would be taken more seriously than just throwing shit to the wind and hoping you guys listen, because at the end of the day, I'm not giving you enough to prove shit. And so I got excited. I wanted to tell you. And I literally, I'm, I'm very grateful again for Post Woke. Love her. Um, because last night it really just hit me that I wasn't wrong in my opinion. Um, but I just want to be able to make sense of much of what I'm saying to you guys and like make it really major. And so that we can all stand a little more firm, I guess, on where we go from here. And I don't want to accuse grandma of being like a hoe. I don't care if she was a hoe. Be a hoe, girl. I don't care. We need the truth, and she's not here to tell it. and she would be. Also, I want to remind you guys, Brian's grandma, who may or may not have messed around and not been the truthful person about who his daddy's dad was, right? No, no, I'm not talking shit, girl. Do your thing, right? But she's also the one who posted the picture of Brian in the boxing gloves, calling him Uncle fucking Willie. And so I've yet to get an answer to this. There's a William Koberger in New York. I've done my homework. Why is Brian Koberger called Uncle fucking Willie? I don't understand. That's my one question. But there's some weird shit going on tied to Las Vegas and all this other shit. And I'm not going to get into that, but there's a lot of weird lies. And what's the word I'm looking for? I swear to God, I'm a writer, but when I want to talk out loud, it doesn't come. I'm just saying, you guys, there's a lot going on that we have never known about, that we probably never will know. But the fact of the matter is that some of us are all right. Bubbly's right to an extent with what she's looked into. Pavarotti's right to an extent of what he's looked into. I'm right because I listened to what I was told. There's multiple people, and I'm not going to name every fucking person. Okay? People have been right, and maybe we just had bits and pieces, all of us together. But at the end of the day, what's wrong is Brian Koberger sitting in a fucking prison cell for 4 life sentences over and over and over. And I'm glad I saw you say that, Noel. This also, in my humble personal opinion, has big ties to athletics at Island. Just saying. Can't tell you why, right? But I'm on that track as well, and I was told that a long time ago. I'm one person, you guys, and I've already almost lost my mind and literally lost my shit completely. I love everybody, and I love seeing these comments because you guys remind me of things really truly do matter. And I wish that I could speed up time at times, and then I wish I could slow it down. Like, I can't even freaking believe we're going on 3 years of this horrific loss of life. And it's weird. It's a little weird. I mean, you look back 3 years, and I'm like, for me, it's different than I'm sure most of you. But losing my dad, I don't feel like 3 years has passed. I don't know where the time has gone. But we all have so much more information, and I think that we know that we can all make a difference. And we have to be grateful that Eliza and Becca Barlow are still on Brian's case, in my opinion, based on them fighting the restitution. And that's a little weird. So their faces spoke volumes in his sentencing and on July 2nd and July 23rd. And I think that those of us who believe that this is not justice, we will continue to come up with ways we can make our voices heard. I don't know right now how to do that. Um, but I have some thoughts, and I did not want to overwhelm you guys. And as you guys probably can tell, like, this makes me a little emotional. It really does. And I don't want to defend someone who's guilty by any means, but I've yet to see any ounce of evidence proving that this kid is guilty. And then I know what I know, and I know what I've been told, and then I know what I just was given as of late last night. And so I got excited. I wanted to share with you guys. And, everyone else is free to look it up and do their thing. And I encourage this because we can't do this. I cannot solve this case by myself, even if everything I'm saying is right. I'm one person. I'm never gonna go set foot in fucking Idaho. Um, that's a terrifying thought. I wish I could, but I can't. And I just think that if we all do our part, we might actually be able to help. But we have to get past, like, there's so much drama on YouTube right now. There's so much bullshit. If you don't like people, bye. Like, we don't have to watch the people we don't like. If we like people, we can go support them. But if you're really here for the reasons that I'm here for, and the reasons, like, I don't like to say I'm part of true crime. No, I don't know what I would even say this today as to what I'm on YouTube doing. I'm advocating for people that need it. That's what I would say. Because I don't like the stigma that's become about even true crime because it's so much drama and it's so not necessary. You don't like people, we don't have to watch them. Move on. Don't spend your time hating on people, harassing them, whatever. Just be kind to the people you like. Go watch the people you like. Support them. Be there. Make your own channel. So many of you, I think, would be great at this, and you don't have channels, and you would succeed. And I'd always be here to help you if you wanted help and guidance of any kind. I'm probably the worst person because for some reason YouTube hates me. I think it's because I'm telling the absolute truth. And that's my opinion. But don't take what I've said today as the absolute truth. It's my truth, it's my opinion, it's my, but I appreciate each and every one of you for being here and listening and taking the time out of your day and choosing me to be here listening to my crazy. Sometimes I love you guys. I just, I feel there's something that I'm not able to explain. Um, there's a greater power that no matter, I don't want to say what, no, there's just a stronger powerhouse of this. And it's meant to silence people. And I don't think any of us should, if we all know this and we all say, I will not be silent, and we all, and here's the thing, I don't want to put something out there to somebody who may or may not have nobody, and you're going to be like, I won't be silenced. And then you go posting a bunch of crazy shit and then you're silent. I feel for anybody who doesn't. And if you're feel free to email me. I don't want people to feel overwhelmed, and I don't want to put people in danger. My point is that if we know people, like I know Bubs, right? If I don't hear from Bubs and I just try and get a hold of Bubs, then I'm gonna worry at a certain point. And so when we speak out against these big deal type things, we have to be able to say somebody's going to account for us and our well being and our lives. And if we are alive and kicking, and I don't mean that in a funny way, I mean that like seriously. And I wish I could expand on right now what I'm even, I don't want to cry. What I'm even talking about, but I will share. I just have to get my thoughts together on this because I have a friend in a situation, and it's because of elite rich dickheads who think that they can bring their children to people when their children are no longer children. And so I'm in a place of a lot of places in my head, but I want everyone to know so long you let people know you're okay, you do have a voice. You have power to change things. And Brian Koberger, if he's some innocent dude, no fed, no nothing, he needs people that have the balls to stand up and say, this isn't okay, period. And not allow what's happening to, and unfortunately for the Upmore family, the time might be coming that, you know, uh, the generational psychotic, uh, I have no words for even what y'all do, but maybe it's a that you guys have met your match. You understand that you don't get to do what you've been doing to people, and I'm grateful for Facebook, and I'm grateful for 1122 King Road Clue because at the end of the day, I got my missing link. The missing puzzle piece has now been answered, and I hope that for whatever reason the coworkers are saying something. Um, if it's because of that, and if Brian's protecting something that he doesn't even really know he's protecting, then his family needs to step up and say what the fuck ever they need to say. Because at the end of the day, if this kid doesn't even have a clue or didn't have a clue, and then he did, and then he said, I'm not going to have my family who should testify to whatever secrets might come out. No, Brian, you need to, because your life matters, Brian, and not what anybody else did to fuck around and find out later that this is the result. That's not your fault, Brian. That's the problem. And I'm scared of that. And Brian's such a good little kid who fucking just calls his mom every fucking 5 seconds like I do. It pisses me off that, oh, he's some monster. Ann Taylor better be working on this at the end of the day. And I know she is because they're not just there for no reason, still listed as his counsel. So all I can say, you guys, and I'm sorry I'm emotional about this because it's fucking ridiculous, but at the end of the day, all we can do is if you pray, pray. If you have platforms, put the truth out there. Put fight for Brian. Put fight for the justice of the Idaho 5, not 4. Until Brian Koberger opens his mouth and says he killed somebody, I will never believe he had any part in it. I will solely believe what I've been told that I think he's gullible. So when I was told Ethan and Brian both knew they were sacrifices, it's hard for me to even just understand the Ethan thing. I'm trying, but Brian, okay, he's probably very autistic and he's persuadable, just like persuading the dude to go to the house even one time. I think Molly needs to be locked up and tell the truth. I think those two vampires' little roommates need to be locked up as they should have been and told until you tell the truth, you're not going home. Nope, not for Thanksgiving. That's not what occurred. And nobody wants to talk and be the bitch like I'm being, saying they're not victims. They're not just witnesses. They're accomplices. It's bullshit. And I'm sorry, does nobody remember the video of the fucking guy literally running out of the house naked? I thought that was like not a thing, and then I keep hearing about people talking about, oh, the guy who ran out naked, and no one's showing it. I have the video of the guy running out of the house naked, and you see him naked. Who's that? Guys, it's just the end of the day. I think I'm grateful that most of you won't give up. I know you won't. But I have to say, you guys have to know that like the truth behind Brian Koberger now getting out of where he's at, it's a long road. It's a long haul. I will, bud. I will. I'm literally writing it down again because I swear to God I forget everything. I have 3 things I'm supposed to remember. I'm gonna post it, and I have to get rid of shit anyways because all my space is always just gone. Naked. Oh, I'm writing. And Bubs, maybe not today, but tomorrow me and CK are calling you because we love you and we want to see you. Um, but I love you guys. And I'm gonna feed my dog before she acts like I'm like a negligent mother. But I had to just go live and tell you guys some of this, and I'm gonna make it make sense much better, I promise. Probably be up all night long, but um, I'm gonna make it make sense much better. And I'm gonna find the naked man running video because I think that's important and it's wild. And I'm encouraging you guys. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you guys this again. And hold on, I'm gonna give you the link. And hold on, I'm trying to get. I never. I can't freaking. I don't remember my password. Um, I'll post it, but I'm gonna go live again tomorrow. I'm gonna make sense. Coburger put in self-imprisonment. Well, I guess when you're facing the death penalty and you not necessarily know how the law works, and you know what's up against you, and you know that you can fight certain things, yet even though you said I sign I'm not gonna, do anything else. I'm not gonna appeal. That's the law. The law lands over. So I think Idaho deceived the people by saying Brian Koberger cannot appeal. He very much can appeal, and he will appeal, and he will win, and he will be exonerated. The thing, psycho. Well, um, love triangle. One of many. Yes, me, TK, and Bubs. Big love triangle, and nobody's gonna deny it. And none of us, luckily, are gonna not survive. Um, seriously, I'm gonna put this shit together in a way that makes sense. I got very excited because I wanted to share, and I also want to claim my where credits due. Number one, 1122 King Road Clue, whomever that is, that's where the credit is truly. I had seriously stuck to my guns on Brian being upset, Reed and Ben at most. He stuck to my guns on everything. I've questioned things, but I also didn't have, the balls to say everything for like a year at first. They started trying to hit. They started showing these pictures of this matching little grandpa dude to Brian Cooper. And now I'm just like, I'm ready and I'm going to tell what I know. And that's okay. And it's fine if other people say that. But I feel like I've said so much every time I go live. I feel like then I hear something that I just said that no one's ever really mentioned. I'm going to get my credit where credit's. I fucking suffered from this case. I've almost lost my marbles in my brain because of this. I've been harassed, I've been bullied, and I'm gonna just speak on it because I think I have that right. And if people think that Brian Koberger is guilty, and if he is, I will fucking say I was wrong. But show me his guilt. Show me the guy. Show me the DNA. Show me how any of this makes sense because the documents, none of it leads to Koberger. It leads all roads to this guy, this kid, he's not even in a special prison for mentally unhealthy people. He's in a federally fucked prison where he's in danger, literally. And someone can't even tell the truth about who leaked that shit. Why is that a secret? It's not okay. You got people selling, giving drugs to their, you know, clients in Boise. So that's Ada County. So hello, like what? And then we got the guy posted the video. He's on the thing, and oh my god, I seriously think I'm gonna do this for fun because seriously, they have this thing. All these little criminals are on this site where you can. They're advertising. We'll do that for fun. If I come live later, we'll do because they're like, hey, my name's so and so, and I'm in IDOC, and I'm just looking for whatever. You're in prison, bro. I'm never going on a dating app again because of what happened to me, but y'all are in prison. But the one dude who was like, hey, baby, I just want to tell you, best life ever. Ryan Colbert is in this prison with me. And this, like, really? Yeah, JLR needs to take his ass back there because he ain't going there. And I love everyone who's worked on this. And I love everyone who's been here for it. At the, you know, like literally, you guys have all been here for this. You've been here for me. You've been here for. I've lost my shit completely at one point, and I told a couple people, and I regretted some of the shit I said. I told certain people to f off that I didn't trust them, and that was because of this case. I couldn't leave my house without thinking people were following me. Couldn't, I mean, you guys, to be really honest, I was not in a good place. And that's very scary. And at the end of the day, yes, yes, all of you guys, all of you, we've all made our mark in this case. And it's not to toot my horn or toot anyone's horn, to be honest. I just said that in my video because it sounded good. But we have to be real at this point. And the things that are truthful and the things that are on paper. Just like, I don't know. I have to ask this before I forget because I'll forget. Bubbly, if you know who Kaylee's male roommate was supposed to be in Austin, I would love to know. You don't have to say it here, but I'm trying to tie in the Mundy's, Jacob Mundy in Austin, Texas, living in $1 million home tied to the Germer family. And if these people didn't want people to talk about them, well, you shouldn't be doing criminal activities at the end of the day. I, I love you, Bubs, and I worry about you, and that's why we're calling you. We're making it a point. We're talking about me, you, and TK. Because I think Brian Koberger is not going to be free unless shit hits the absolute fan. Oh, TK. And yes, you guys have anyone who knows who Tommy Judas. Um, I was so thankful to be able to go on the very end of his life with me, and it really broke my heart. But I have a request of everybody, please, 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 if you know and love Tommy, um, stay positive, be positive when you talk to him, and he's not gonna just. There's no giving up, okay? Um, we don't do so. We be positive, and I was so grateful because I imagine my dad loving that man and them being buddies if we lived in the same city. And I saw a man very hurt last night and very not well. And I was so blessed to see he was still posting his link time after time. And so I was like, I have to say it just because I had to for myself. And I learned about Birdie, learned more about Birdie, and Birdie lost his dad. And that's what I was saying earlier, you guys. Is I think we all just have to remember, in the grand scheme of things, you don't have to agree with each other, but we have to realize we are all humans, and we're all, most of us here, fighting for the same greater good and the best outcome for justice. Not just in this case, but any case. We are all good people. We don't have to agree, but we have to understand each other. And if we hate each other before we can even attempt to understand one another, how the hell are we going to ever get better and get anywhere? You know, really, Noel? Well, I literally, I, I'm struggling since my mom is having one. Um, come on. We have to not let the drama um, that we see, because I don't even know how YouTube puts choices on my screen, like on my TV, on anything. I don't know how that algorithm works, but it's weird, and I don't have anybody I watch consistently that ever. Um, and so I have to look for everybody, and then when I find things and I see a lot of drama and hate and stuff, it's just like it really blows my mind, because true crime is not supposed, like, that's not what I came here for. If you fuck with me, I'm gonna defend myself. Don't get me wrong, but when I see all the hate and the judgment and it's like, are we not grown ass people? If I don't like something someone's saying, I don't have to make a video or 10 about what they say, especially if it has nothing to do with me. And so I've been a little mind blown, and my mind is all over lately, because I just don't get it, and I don't understand how anyone wants to associate themselves with true crime. And I don't want to even say, I'm going to be covering a lot of lately, especially I want to be there for people suffering with grief through holidays. I'm not here for true crime. I'm here for Idaho, of course. But there's a lot of other shit we all do. And if people judge me based on whatever the hell they want to because I said something weird about Idaho, then that speaks volumes of them and their character, and not me and mine. And I refuse to be allowing myself, as have been doing, to be hold myself and not be who I am because of judgment of random people on the internet, especially when I have nothing but good intentions. So I think it's, I know you guys get it, and I know I might not be talking about shit you guys want to hear about, but I know the support is still there. And as long as it's support and not hate, that's all. But I just feel that everyone deserves it. And last night after Tommy's live, it really hit me, and I've said, oh, birdie this, birdie that. And I apologize for saying that, because I realized that I'm being someone that I don't want to be. I go, I'm preaching, and doing, I'm not practicing what I preach. And when I heard Birdie losing his, he said, we don't know each other, none of us, but we're all here for a reason, and none of my business, really, what someone's reason is for being here. so long my reason holds true to my beliefs and my standards and my morals of life. And I'm not saying that that's not what Birdie's doing. I have nothing bad to say about him. I'm just using that as an example. Like, I saw a different side of somebody that I kind of judged, and I'm being honest. And so for that, I'm very sorry. And it made me remember that we are all human. We all, none of us get to escape the loss of loved ones. We don't get to escape hurt and pain and whatever reality we're living in. And to me, that really matters more than anything. Um, that bird, I don't even know what you said. But I love you guys and thank you for listening. I I'm trying to be the realest person I can be, as I told myself and promised myself I would. And I'm not here to manipulate or say anything. If I wanted to do that, I would have said all this shit 2 years ago when I was told it and I didn't understand. I finally understand what I was told, and I'm trying to bring it to you guys while also being slightly respectful still to the families that are involved because I'm that person. But at the end of the day, if the truth has to come out, I do question the families. But I promise the next time I go live, I hope it's tomorrow, I will be sharing and I will have visuals for you guys to better understand. Um, and I just appreciate you guys. I'm trying not to get like emotional. I'm such a baby. But I appreciate it. I'm not, I want people to know there's another option. And yes, it does. And I want people to understand, like, once you picture how small the area is and the reality of what happened, it sounds crazy. But at the end of the day, it's obviously not that crazy because these people went back to their daily business, their daily lives, as if it was no thing. And that's weird. And so I don't think that, I think that's the point. But we have to be able to put two and two together, make it equal four, and use 1122 King Road clues mathematical equation that has a purpose and a meaning and takes all the allegorical symbolism from the grub truck to everything we've heard. And I'm telling you guys, I will find it. The Murphy thing really bothers me because there was seriously a comment in the grub truck that literally signifies that Murphy was taken. Like, and I'd love to talk to people because I really believe, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like Tebow is someone who, like probably many others in that little shady satanic worshiping town, that once you're involved and you're in the know, you don't have a choice to get out unless you end up dead. See? That's sad because I feel looking back, Tebow was like saying things. And I have to go back and watch it too, and I will be up all night doing it. But when I do another live, we're gonna have a real talk, and I'm gonna make it more make sense. But I had to tell you this because there is something else out there. It's bigger than what we thought. And I have to say, in my opinion, it's not what I thought in terms of the feds or anything like. The only thing that's bigger than, in my opinion, what we thought is the protection and the covering up of rich ass people. And that I'm glad I remembered to say because at the end of the day, I've made it. This is so much bigger. I'm sorry, but where's Kim WS? I respect her, but I'd love to hear her now. after we've all seen what's actually been the overall outcome for Cooper. Where's Kim now? And everyone still wants to say Dot was lying. I mean, I wish I was a fucking rich ass person because I'd be like, hey Dot, hey Kim, I'll fly you here. Take a fucking lie detector so we know the truth. Otherwise, people don't need to come up on panel and tell their truth if we still 3 years later almost have to question was that real or not. Kim's not listed as a fucking witness. How come Dot's not listed as a witness? How come Elon Musk is not listed as a witness? Like these are questions that I'm very much concerned about. Love you, TK. Talk to you later, girl. But yeah, you guys, I don't know. Those are just my thoughts. Um, I had to share them because my brain would explode and nobody in my life wants to feel miserable. You guys get to. I love you. Okay, love you. Thank you, babe, for being here. Um, if I missed anything, you guys, um, I'm trying to remember to go back to things. Yeah, I want as many. I agree too. And I've been just really racking my brain, going back over and over and over things that I've heard. It's just a little scary. Yeah, Dot said she made it up, but then again, did they get told to say she made it up? Yes, Chris to call me for sure. But you guys, I love you. I'm gonna go feed my dog. She's giving me that like side day. Um, Bubbly. I'm sorry. I was reading Bubs. Jeez Louise, you always know how to. Where was this from? An old oak tree gave in to the wind and rain and fell on the main tent, killed one for the ER the day before yesterday. Regular people having a Halloween. Okay, because here's the deal, you guys, and I am not gonna like a preachy person, but you guys know I've been analyzing and learning a lot about satanic ritual abuse. I literally was listening to a survivor the other day um, talk about Halloween, and obviously Ethan's birthday is very close to Halloween, and then this is all very close to Halloween. Halloween is not to be celebrated, and I don't know, but if I was in those parts, I definitely wouldn't be celebrating. And I know that's hard. I if I find the video easily, I'm gonna share it as a video and I won't interrupt it. But it's you guys know I love Emma on the Imagination podcast, and she has all of these survivors, and they speak into truth that not many people want to acknowledge or admit has ever even been real. But more and more survivors are coming and talking about satanic ritual abuse, um, Freemasonry, and I'm not saying any one person, not one group, like not every Freemason is. I'm not saying they're all Satan worshippers because some people get pulled into things that they have no clue what they're entering into. So please, nobody take me. Nothing I say is meant to be judgmental of anything. And if you come off that way, I am apologetic ahead of time. That's not who I am. I'm just trying to make sense of what's actually occurred and the way that I know and that I've heard children get groomed and the life of these kids is horrific from the beginning. And I am gonna do my best to just share better. Um, tomorrow. And again, you guys, if you pray, pray. I think that we're around the time that this would have all been being planned, maybe, for the Idaho 4 tribe situation. And we have power, and power of prayer, in my opinion, if you believe in God, is a powerful thing. If you don't, you are able to, I believe in affirmations and manifestation as well. We have the power to make this world better. I believe wholeheartedly the killers of these horrible crimes, they're still literally loose on the streets, living their life like it's no thing, and they don't give two fucks. They're laughing right now because we're still trying to solve a crime that they think we're never gonna. So my hope and my prayer is that none of us give up. And the people that may or may not be listening or laughing, well, good luck. Because at the end of the day, the people who, the good people, people that God has their back, we are protected in some way. And the truth will be revealed. And I don't want anyone to end up hurt because they share something. I truly do believe the truth is right around the corner. And it's scary to see that some people have lost their lives by the Idaho because they had information. But when we talk about it, we raise awareness about it, the less likely it is to happen because people are on alert. And the more it happens, the closer someone is to getting caught. So people who don't like people talking and they want to shut them up, well, let's hope that's not the case. But when they do go and do those, then it's another pinpoint of, okay, how did this happen? And the ties related to this person. Because at the end of the day, this is going to be solved. And the killers, the family of killers, they're all going to be exposed. And if 1122 King Road Clue isn't the one who's already done it, I'm fairly certain Ann Taylor and her team know exactly what has gone on. And for whatever reason, Brian had to do what he had to do. And let's be real. A young man who literally does not act like a killer. He's a mama's boy completely. He did what he looks like a guy that's gonna do whatever you tell him to do. Like I feel like he could be like a dog you train him. And I don't mean that in a mean way. But I feel like I could date Brian Koberger and be like, that guy's gonna do anything I tell him to do. And that's just me being honest. That's also me saying he's not gonna go kill people. He's just like he just wants his mom. And any person who emulates his mom and his mom just loves him, right? That's what I mean. I'm not saying I can go train him to go cook. That's a whole different topic. I'm just saying the dude needs a little bit of, and if he has to sit there through the holidays, like I said last slide, we have to figure out because his parents are victims too. And until someone proves to me that they're not, I believe they're all victims. And if people don't like it, oh, I love you guys though. I don't know what's an action not anymore. I feel like it's my hope, Noel, is that was working for a federal agency and that those people are all screwed right now. I've lost a little hope in them, but I don't know. I believe something's around the horizon and Taylor and team are working on, and they will exonerate him. I don't believe they'd still be listed as his attorneys. I don't believe that I would see Reed Upmore's name as a buckle swab. I don't believe any of it. If I didn't see Reed Upmore, I would probably not be talking to you guys. But I did see his, and I know what I know, and I know what I was told, and I will never give up on that now. And I know I feel bad, and I'm not gonna say much, but I feel bad for the Chafin kids. I feel bad for a lot of these kids. But until one of those kids decides, any of them, until one of those kids that knows exactly what happened decides that they're going to literally rely on God to hold them in safety, or until they have safety, which is not going to be anytime soon, in my opinion, they are not going to tell the truth about what occurred. I firmly believe many of those kids were raised exactly for this type of behavior, to cover up. You don't talk, you don't say anything, no matter what. That's my fear. And no matter how much you love Ethan, you don't talk about him. That's even his siblings, even Hunter Johnson, who pretends he's his BFF. But I truly believe it's. I don't think they thought we were going to look into this. I really don't. And I think that we have, and now we've forwarded this shit into a different realm almost. Like, oh God, now they're looking into everything and everyone. You know, we've got our favorite, you know, bubbly. What did she say? Dude, these people give credit, and I'm sorry, but get Bug credit. But Bubbly is a fucking awesome investment. And if you don't like it, well, maybe y'all should just tell us the truth to begin with, and then we don't have to have Bubbly Waters of the world and have me and others looking into the truth, because if you told it from the start, it wouldn't occur. But then we got families hating on people because we, the people, want the truth, not bullshit. We want the truth. And when we aren't given the truth, sorry, Charlie, Farley, Molly, Marley, Molly, Farley, Charlie, whatever. You don't give us the truth, we're going to seek it. And I'm still going to say, because this just literally popped in my Blue Waters, I'm not, mountain lion. I just watched a video, and that is I'm never denied it. Lee was no. Yeah, Jimmy, Molly's Jimmy. It's okay, little. I hate when there's sirens. My dog has such issues. Thank you. Trade with Journal. Love ya. Thank you. You guys, I love you guys. I gotta feed my dog. She's tripping because there's sirens, and she's like, it looks like they're coming from her. Well, they're not coming, Mama. Then I'll come through you, little. Mommy. No, seriously, Ralph. Love you guys, and I promise I'm gonna be a little more particular, just a little more. But I plan to go live tomorrow, um, and get a little more in depth about what I'm talking about and prove what I'm saying, and I'm gonna prove about the Disney thing. And I guess I have to go look into how I'm now lovely, wonderfully related to the Barnhart family. Lucky me. Love you guys. Thanks for being here. Please hit the like on your way out. Sorry I asked you guys. Love ya, love ya. Bubs, I wrote a note, but if I don't, me and CK are calling you mom. But text me or something, or I'll text you. Love you guys. You guys are amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll be live tomorrow. I'll post it as soon as I know what time I will be live. Um, so you guys know. Okay. Love you. And thanks, CK, Noel, Bubbly, Hollyberry, Dan, my computer's not might be stupid. Okay, Hollyberry, one of many. Steven was here, Noel. I can't go back in there. I love you guys. Okay, my computer doesn't. My computer's showing me. I love you guys. Thanks everyone who showed up. Me and yeah, call me whatever, dude. I'm gonna call you Goose. Okay. Dan, I talk too much. I gotta go. I love you guys. Thank you. Stay safe, smile, and honestly, just have a little faith in whatever's about to happen. Because at the end of the day, if it's not for us fighting for the right case, then no one will do it. Yes, and Dan says, deliver us from evil. And I say, amen. Thank you, Dan. I love you. Littles loves you guys. We're going to go eat. Take care, stay safe, and we'll talk soon. Bye, guys.